Hey gang, Mike Palumpo here with our final message on fasting from my secret bunker. Week 1, we shared the heart of fasting, which is to clear a pathway for an encounter with the seeking Father. Week 2, we shared the benefit of fasting, which is more time with God. This is our final preparation message before we actually begin fasting. I'm going to share some practical tips on how to fast biblically. Jesus said that when you fast, don't try to show everyone, how spiritual you are because you're fasting. So don't look all disheveled and go around complaining how hungry you are. Get dressed, fix your face, comb your hair. I don't have to worry about that. But in other words, be joyful, put a smile on your face, look normal, but the whole time you are connecting with God. And remember your list of things the Lord wants you to set aside. So video games, shopping, Netflix, sports, your phone. Now don't forget, this is your own personal list. So don't make everybody else in the family fast the exact same way you are. You can talk about it obviously, but it's really important that you allow people to do this from their heart, not from compulsion. We want to avoid fasting for man, to please man, fasting from peer pressure. There must be no legalism. Now, as I said, classical biblical fasting means not eating. So let the Spirit lead you in this, but I recommend you try going a few days without solid food, maybe just juice and fluids. Maybe your last meal could be maybe say dinner on Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just fluids. And then you break fast, breakfast, on Monday. But get ready, because what do you think will happen if you don't get to eat what you want? Right, you're gonna get hungry. The cravings are gonna be just very, very powerful. You're gonna say, Lord, I need Kalbi ribs right now. I want a Wendy's burger right now, God. I want honey walnut shrimp right now. But here's where you get to say, Lord, I want food so badly right now, but I want your presence even more. I want the joy and the peace of the Lord even more. My stomach is crying out for honey walnut shrimp, but my heart is crying out for you even more. Fasting is going to provoke your flesh to rise up. But through the power of the Spirit, here's your chance to train your spirit to say no to the flesh and yes to God. See, our flesh is a big crybaby. When it doesn't get what it wants, it starts crying like a spoiled child. I'm not looking forward to this part. No kidding, this is not gonna be easy. But here's the thing. Saying no to your flesh through fasting teaches us to say no to sin. You see, the same spiritual discipline we learn to say no to, say, chocolate chip cookies, that's the same spiritual discipline we use to say no to greed, immorality, and other sins. Now, if for health reasons you cannot medically fast from solid food, well, you could fast from all junk food, right? So no candy, no cake, no cookies, no Twinkies, not even ice cream. But remember, it's not just about saying no to the flesh. As we fast, we are also saying yes to God. We are saying yes to the Bible, yes to church, yes to worship, yes to prayer, meditation, and journaling. So here's a picture for you of the spiritual discipline of biblical fasting. Basically, you're saying no to disobedience and no to the flesh and no to sin. And you're saying yes to obedience and yes to God and yes to the Holy Spirit. So it looks kind of like this. It looks like this. So as we begin fasting, church, let the Lord fill your heart with anticipation of what He's about to do in the new year. Notice I didn't say expectation, because expectation is where you tell God, here's how I expect you to work this year. Instead, we want to be filled with anticipation, that the God who knows what we need before we ask it, the God who knows us better than we know ourselves, will reveal His perfect plan for our church this year. Remember, whatever plan you have for yourself, His plans are greater still. Whatever plan you have for your family or for your church, His plans are greater still. As we begin to fast and listen, we say no to our flesh and yes to the Spirit. We don't waste time on futile, unessential things. Instead, we redeem our time by being focused, disciplined, and attentive to the seeking Father. The deepest longing and greatest desire of our hearts is for more of God, more of His love, more joy, more peace, more power, more of His presence. And it is the longing of God to be with us. That's why Jesus came. Not just so we could go to heaven, but so heaven could come to us. I am so excited to begin this new year with the right spiritual foundation. May this year be a year like no other as we fast and pray for more of God's love and power than we've ever experienced before.